And so we welcome everyone into the center and welcome you into the center from all the states of the union from which you might be YouTubing to see what we have today. So we're going to start out by talking about all of the things that are coming up. I mean, here it is, barely into October, if that's the way it feels, but boy, there's a lot of stuff happening. What is happening on Monday of next week, which is Monday the 16th, the men's group will have their meeting. They meet twice a month, and it includes next Monday. And then the following weekend, which is Saturday, October the 21st, and Sunday, October the 22nd, we are having the New Earth Expo. We had one of those back in the spring. It was a magnificent experience. I don't know if any of you even came to any part of it. The place was crowded and overflowing with lots of people and lots of things to see, and it's just exciting to do that. So it is both of those days, including Sunday, when we will also have service. So there is a lot going on that Sunday. And I would also remind you, if any of you are interested ever in volunteering, and you get a bigger insight perhaps into all the things that go on at this expo, is volunteer for a couple of hour period just to help out, because sometimes the vendors need to step away to take care of their personal business, and you can sit there and hold their spot, or you can do other things. It's really, there are a lot of little chores that we need to do to make the facility welcoming for these really hundreds of people that end up coming. So your time, even at a 2-hour here or there, would be very, very welcome. There's a place to sign up out there. And I know Reverend Valerie, who's organizing this, would very much appreciate your just saying, yes, I will help out. Then on Saturday the 28th, which is a couple of weeks away, we are having a leadership summit, as Dr. Sharon calls it. And this is an all-day from 10 until 4. And it is a time of visioning and reflecting on the ways that we want to grow in this center. Now, one of the requirements is that you are an annual member. And there's a flyer out there about the leadership, and I don't think that particular sentence is there, but it is part of it. And when you think about it, that is what we are developing, are leaders who are part of this center in that commitment level. So read more about it out there with the flyer that is there, and sign up. Now, if you think you want to do this, Sunday, October the 22nd is the last day to sign up. And the reason for that is just logistical. There's going to be a lot of material that will be there for all of those who sign up. And so that needs to be ready. So it's an important thing. It's something that we want to do for this center, to vision for the future and for the near future and the far future, if those are different terms. Now, the next thing that we're inviting people to sign up for is the new minister selection committee. And as you might expect, you do need to be an annual member to be a part of that group as well. Now, you can sign up for that at the desk. Now, this is what being, in short part, what being on that committee entails. This committee will be meeting weekly to create the profile and video, inviting ministers to come into this position, to apply for this position. It will be meeting weekly for a very long time, so it is a time commitment. They will review candidates and invite the top ones to come to the center for a candidating weekend. During that time, each candidate will do a Sunday talk and a workshop. Everyone will have the opportunity to fill out evaluation forms. Everybody includes everyone. At the end of the process, the board will recommend candidates, and the members will vote on a new member. So obviously, for all of these activities into our future, being an annual member is part of what you want to do if you want to be an active participant in that process. You can find out a lot more of this, what's going on in our center too, simply by visiting that activity table out there, finding out more things that we are doing, especially the ongoing events. Now, one of those is that we are going to have our Pledge and Prosperity program is going to be in a little over a week. It's going to be November, maybe it's I'm sorry, the Pledge of Prosperity program will begin in a little over a week, culminating in our Pledge Potluck, which is November the 12th. Now, the clipboards that we have out there are the two that, one that you sign up if you're going to host a table, and the other you sign up if you just want to come and be invited to be a part of a table or to say which table you want to be a part of. So that is, both of those things are out there now. Again, that is Sunday, November the 12th. So sign up, ask questions, see whatever you need to do. Many of you are familiar with our Pledge Potluck. This is very much like what we've always had here at this center, with the fact that it's on Sunday, which is different. Our speaker this coming Sunday is Dr. Sharon Hudson with the topic Soaring with Spirit. And I know we all look forward to hearing from Dr. Sharon from right here on the platform. Remember, if you want to be a part of that Science of Mind Sunday class, then you want to get here by 10:15. The circle is set up over in Richelieu Hall so we can enjoy that lesson. And a big thank you is always in place for all of the people that help us make this center go. I mean, we've got people back there at the sound table and the vision table making everything work, because there's a camera there sending things out over the airways, and volunteers under the direction of Grant are doing all of these things, as well as hospitality, working all over the place. Now, if you want to volunteer to do some activity in the church, especially if you want to help out with tech in some way, see Grant today. I know he will entertain your volunteering idea. If you're interested in helping us in youth church, which doesn't happen on Wednesday, but it's a very big thing on Sundays, please plan to talk with Dr. Sharon on Sunday. You can fill out a form, but sign up on a pledge or a sign-up sheet, but you want to talk with Dr. Sharon about what all is involved in that. It's one of the most important things that I think that we will be doing that helps us grow our church, is to provide a place for families with children so they can come and know with confidence that their children are learning science of mind exactly in the way that we know it's best for our youth to appreciate that. So let us be grateful for volunteers now and for the volunteers to come. And so we say, and so it is. So as the announcer, I'm going to say, and today's speaker is Reverend Katherine McKinney. And she steps into this spot. It's the pink light. Thank you. It's, wearing these different things is just part of what we do sometimes. I have as my topic the idea that gratitude is contagious. Now, I was thinking really more yesterday than I had been originally thinking about this, but I was thinking more specifically about why I was choosing the topic in this way. And I remember now that I had seen a little video that has stuck with me, at least in the smaller pieces, and it was, I'm not even sure that it had words associated with it, the one that I saw. The action was simply mimed, and you understood what was going on. And it started out with something like someone just sitting at a table, maybe in a library, and knocks over a bottle of water onto their pages. It got everything wet. And so she reacts to this, and she's holding up the paper because she seemed to only have one. Someone comes along, pulls out, here, you've got another piece of paper. Oh, thank you. You know that there's gratitude. So the person who on the receiving end, in a few minutes, gets up and goes on and leaves the room that she was in, if not the building. And as she's going out, she's opening the door, and someone else is coming in, and so she holds the door for someone. The person for whom the door was held acknowledges it, thank you very much, because this is a kind of a special door. And so the person continues on, goes inside, and as she's walking into this big room, she sees that someone has walked away and left their water bottle on the table. And so she picks it up, oh, you forgot this. Oh, goodness, yes, thank you. And so the person with the water bottle continues on, and then someone in front of her drops something. So she hurries over and she picks up the drop thing. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So you could see it was a continuum like that. And then toward the end, the person who had the book retrieved that she had dropped happened to see a crowd of people in front of them that bumped into this guy and knocked his stuff to the ground. And so the guy is looking, I mean, like, you know, just rude. It's the look that he has on his face, and his book is on the floor. So she hurries over and she picks up the book and hands it to him. Well, it's like my faith in humanity's been restored, is the look that he puts on his face. And so he later goes on, and he's on the street, and he sees someone who seems confused in a crosswalk. It was a big, busy street. And so he offers to just help them cross the street and does that. That's all he does. And this woman is so, so grateful. And so it closes with the camera on her. She's waiting for her bus, and she feels good because she was anxious, and then she was helped. So this whole idea that gratitude is contagious, I think, is a viable, real thing. But what has happened in this series are actually acts of kindness. People have done kind things, but it's the recipient that has that feeling of gratitude, so that they are more open to seeing the possibilities of what they can do. And that's the contagion part of this. If there is any activity in which I do anything that takes me outside of myself, and that's what Ernest Holmes talks about. In order to be kind, he said, we can be filled with anxiety about the past or uncertainty about the future, he says. But when we are fully present, we can express the kindness of the divine and allow it to express in our lives. And he goes on to say, in order to do this, in order to be these things, we have to step outside ourselves. And that's where the value comes. That we are not so caught up with the inner anxiety about the past and the uncertainty for the future. We're simply allowing this moment to present to me whatever is to be presented. Perhaps I rush over to help someone pick up something, or I see someone confused or upset, someone that I may, if I don't know well, I at least know well enough that they don't think I'm a stranger, and say, is there anything I can help you with? If you are attentive to the moment, there's really an infinite number of things we can often do to not change someone's life in some dramatic way. It's the small things. And in the situation that our world finds us in at times, we can feel helpless, that there's nothing I can really do. And yet there is. We can only affect the world around us in most instances. And that's what we have the opportunity to do every day in little ways. And it's a matter of kindness. It's a matter of being outside ourselves. It's a matter of noticing. And it's a matter of how we present ourselves to the world. It's the sum total of how we present ourselves to the world. Now, I think that gratitude is contagious in that way, because when we are appreciative and then we take action because of that, we've had this compounding effect of building gratitude in our brains. Do you know, at this point in our culture, everything is studied, analyzed, sliced, and diced, including what happens when we feel grateful. There are chemical changes in our brain. This affects that, which affects that, and ultimately we flood our brains with dopamine. And you know that's the feel-good hormone that is so good for us to have. And when we feel good, everything just looks different. Even the same situation that we were in looks different because we're bringing that dopamine-filled attitude to whatever is going on. Does that make sense? Because that's what's going on chemically. But the truth of the matter is, we've experienced it. There's probably not anyone in this room or online who hasn't had someone just randomly do something for us, even if it's just the opening of a door or picking up something we dropped. And of course, I always appreciate the fact that when my mind is fixed on a certain thing, as it has been, at least in this running program in the back of my mind about doing this talk, wouldn't you know I would have this fantastic demonstration. So about a week ago, I engaged in some activity, paying for things, doing errands, going a lot of different places. And at some point, I went into my wallet to get my credit card that I was using to pay for things. Well, it's not there. I went, oh, darn. I must have left it on my desk, meaning this desk, because I remembered the last time I'd used it. Well, I didn't come here for a couple of days because lots of things. And then by the time I finally got here, I was looking for it, but I was in a rush. I couldn't find it, but I figured I just haven't looked well enough. So I came yesterday, and I thought, okay, I've got to find the credit card, because now it's been a week. And so I had used it the week before. So I'm go through all the paperwork, go through everything, trying to sort things out. And then I finally realized, it's not here. And so then I remembered, wait, this wasn't the last time I used it. I actually used it a week ago, right after that. It was at a store. So as soon as I could, I was doing some other things, but as soon as I could, I went to the store. Well, of course they had my credit card. Right there, she pulls open a drawer, and she says, well, usually I clear all of these out on Monday, but I didn't get to it yesterday. And so here it is. And I'm laughing, honestly laughing, because I'm thinking, gratitude is contagious, and I'm on the receiving end. And it was just this heartwarming moment. And so I had to go pick up somebody's dropped book or something, to follow in that path. I didn't actually, nobody presented an opportunity while I was in the store. But it's that kind of thing that when you're on the receiving end, you know how you feel. It's just that, they call it dopamine flooding. It really is a wonderful feeling. And I had a whole bunch of stuff going on, but everything just looked just like that rosy light up there. It just looked better. And so it sort of demonstrated to me in a physical sense of how the exact words that I had been thinking about and how to do that. I think the other thing that I also remember, and this is going back decades, and this is another way that gratitude became contagious in a slightly different way. It was a long time ago. Maureen was 4 years old, so it was a long time ago. And so every morning, she was in preschool, and I sat out in the car with her. We would always get there early because we took India to school and had to wait for preschool to start. So we sat in the car every morning, 15 minutes. And somewhere along the line, I noticed this woman who was coming in with her 4-year-old, coming to the same class. I saw her every day. And so I always noticed, I started day after day, I began to notice she really always looks so put together. She always looks really good. Not fancy, but just really good. And I would always admire that. And so at some point, I had this idea. I wonder why I don't just tell her. Why should I think wonderful things about this person? I didn't know her. Why shouldn't I just say, you just always look so good? Why couldn't I say that? So one morning, not long after that, I did just that. I said that to her. The look on her face, she was stunned. She may have even teared up because she's not feeling put together. She's not feeling all of that. But here I had clearly have no agenda. I'm just telling her something really nice about herself. We may have talked a little more that day, but I don't remember that part. We were both taking our daughters to the same preschool. So we spoke maybe some after that. I don't actually remember. But fast forward, we are both having a child in kindergarten at the school across the street, the elementary school that is literally across the street. So it's a long story, but our children ended up in the same kindergarten class. And so we ended up being room mothers together. So this woman, I have to step back and say, she could not have been more different than I am. Number one, she was a very fundamentalist Christian. To the point that I had to do the Halloween party for kindergartners by myself because she wouldn't allow her daughter to participate. And there were many other ways. She couldn't do certain things because she had Bible study. And there were many, many, many things. But we continued knowing each other for quite a while. And what I am telling you is all of the differences that we had, either politically or all of those things, made no difference. That's what's stunning. We always had that relationship that got forged simply because I said to her, you just really look good today. How could I possibly have known that we would know each other all of the years later and that we would collaborate on other school things? How could I have known that? I didn't. But that particular act of kindness is something I became grateful for. So to me, the contagious part of it was circular in this particular case. And I didn't know anything about science of mind. I didn't know anything about dopamine flooding for sure. And I did not know that I was doing something that was that important. But I came to know that. And I have never forgotten it. We have even communicated over time randomly simply because we catch up with each other occasionally. And she's gone on and done very different things. So fast forward to my time here. In fact, it was even during pandemic. I was doing a memorial for someone that I didn't know. I'm looking at the name, and it's a rather big memorial. The woman had a very large family. It was very involved. I had talked to a number of the family members about how they wanted to do things. And then it came to the day of the memorial, and they had some pictures, a poster or something that they were putting up with pictures of the woman's life. And I looked at the pictures and I went, oh my gosh, I know her. And I did know her, but her name was different. I later find out that the name that she's presenting was always her name, but when she was here, she was married, so she had a different last name and was using that name, and she was using an abbreviated version of her first name. I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was like a long name that ended in Nita, and so she used Nita here, and that's what she was called. Well, she is someone who, like Pam that I knew way back in kindergarten the first time, who I had admired here on Sunday mornings. She was always beautifully dressed. You got the idea that she had some executive position because she dressed for success and continued dressing that way on Sunday. She was magnificent, everything. So we were in the bathroom right over there. And so it was just the two of us in there. And so I said, you know, you always look so good. It's essentially the same thing. Now, she openly wept. She said, I got up this morning, I couldn't believe how awful I thought I looked. And this is here at this center. We all know more then than we knew before. But she wept. And so, you know, she got herself, we talked and all of that. And then come forward, that's been 10, 15 years ago, I see the woman's presence here in that picture. So I could share that story at the memorial and share that experience. And I knew her. She was this kind, loving person. She did so many things here at the time and then moved on to living in a different place. So I'm just saying to you, whatever it is that you're thinking, if you can be outside of yourself, because I think you have to be somewhat outside of your own concerns, putting your awareness, not just self-awareness, but of what's going on. Anytime that you are able to just think some wonderful thought about someone, why not share that? Why not share that? It benefits you, the speaker, I believe. I think it has always benefited me. I'm giving you two rather dramatic instances, but they're not the only ones. And I know that it benefited other people. It's like the faces just glow. You're talking to me? You've noticed me? And that is just a special thing. How often does it happen to us? If it's ever happened, then you know how it feels. And so I recommend it. I do believe it's contagious. I think whomever we give those comments to, I think there is a positive effect in their lives. Now, unlike the little video that I started with at the first time, if we help someone, we don't necessarily know what they go on to do. But we can know that everything outpictures for us. I know in the video that plays before this service starts, there's one of Ernest Holmes' quotes that's across there that says, life is a mirror. It reflects back to you what you put into the mirror. And that's it. That's as strong a reason as I can think of to practice kindness, to practice generosity, knowing with faith that it is contagious. And how do we change the world? One person at a time, one situation at a time, one moment at a time. I believe that. And I invite you all to play in that arena. And that is the lesson for today. Thank you. So, this is the time when we actually remember why we would put something in the plate, why we contribute to this center. I know that I contribute to it simply because it has given me so much. It's given me the grounding and the teaching and the understanding, as well as the friendships and opportunities to know this teaching in a certain way. And so I give back to that. And so I invite you to consider those benefits for yourself as you put something. It's not about the amount to me. It is about the gesture. That is the most important thing, because that is energy. So we are going to say our affirmation. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. Thank you. So, does anybody have a question or comment or anything? I think, oh, do you need a microphone? Okay. Grant has, his agile legs are taking him to wherever a microphone needs to be.
Hello? Hello? My name is Cheryl. I had an incident
Please
the other
speak into that, because I don't always hear
I
as well.
had an incident the other day at CVS. I was going to get my vaccinations. Ew. And as I was leaving, I saw this woman in line like 2 or 3 places in front of me, and she had on a dress that I had just bought for a wedding. And I said, look at her. I was telling my husband, look, she bought the dress. I have that dress. I just bought that dress. And he's like, well, so what, you know? I go, no, I've got to go tell her. So I went up and tell her, I go, nice dress. I just bought this dress. It looks great on you. And she was like so elated, so grateful, so happy that I said that to her. So being kind and noticing people and what they do, it really makes a great effect on them. And I felt good too.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Another story.
No, actually, it's not a story. I would like to make a prayer request, if that's okay. Yes? Okay, so I would like to get some prayer for my brother-in-law. His name is Werner.
I'm sorry, what is his name?
Werner. Werner, like the truck, Werner. And yeah, he just had some brain surgery. So I would appreciate some prayer. And then also if you could pray for the situation in Israel and Palestine for some peace. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I want to make sure I've got the name correctly. What does it start with? What is
I think it was Werner. Werner?
Vernon, okay. Is that right? All right.
It's W, but it sounds like a V.
With the microphone, sometimes things, V's and B's and different things, I don't want to get that wrong. Back surgery is what he said.
Brain surgery. Brain surgery.
See, I'm not hearing. I'm sorry. Well, should I treat for Burma with back surgery? No. Okay. In this moment, which is full of the power and the presence of Spirit all around, all about, and within me, I allow myself to step into that light of healing. As I know these words for Vernon, as this absolutely comes into the spotlight, there is really only one whole body that is already perfect and complete as created. And there are actions in the law, in the soul, in the body that are realigning in his life, in his being, in his expression to bring everything back into that perfect alignment of spirit. And there is this feeling of gratitude and wholeness that floods through his body as he allows this to move into every part of his being, coming into all of those places that are the potential for healing and for being and for alignment. I know that everything works in the divine pattern to come together to make this happen. The hands of the practitioners, the hands of the surgeons and the nurses and all of the therapists as well as the medication are working in beautiful harmony along with the idea that Vernon is whole, Vernon is complete, and everything is working just as it should to bring divine harmony in body, in mind, and in spirit. I am ever grateful for the divine healing power of the Spirit that moves through me, moves through Vernon, moves through everyone. And I know this perfection is manifesting as I release this word, knowing that it's already done in the mind of God. And I say, and so it is.
We have one more.
Reverend McKinney, I too have been blessed by many years of doing what you have suggested, very greatly blessed. I myself have a request. I need some kindness. For more than 2 weeks, I am down to 2 T-shirts because I've sent them to the cleaners and they come back unfixed. And I don't have a computer, nor do I know how to use it. And I need someone to help me with a computer to look online and find what I need. That's my request.
So, and you're requesting technical help in that area of your life. Someone who can show you how to do what you want to do. Yes?
Someone who will have their computer and go online to the places. For example, I needed to get an LL Bean card, and the only way I could do it was on a computer, which I don't have and don't know how to do. And I was going to get a special deal, but I couldn't get it.
Well, I'm thinking in general, that's what you need, is someone that could
Exactly.
give you the technical help you need.
Exactly.
Okay. So as I open my heart and mind to the idea that Spirit, the infinite intelligence of life, knows absolutely everything, all there is to know. And I know that that intelligence fills and comes to all of us in many ways as we know those ways of being. And as I speak these words for Anne, I know that there is a place, there is a person, there is a service that is available, that is ready to absolutely serve whatever need is present in absolute perfection so that her life moves forward with such grace and ease. The knowledge that needs to be known is already known in the mind of God and in the minds of many people who understand. And Anne is absolutely attracted to one of those people, to several of those people, so that she is able to move forward in such grace and completion of all of the tasks that she needs. I know that this is already done. It's such a divine way of having life work its way toward a glorious end. I see the end, which is this happiness and peace that comes from having everything work out, perhaps in surprisingly loving ways. I am grateful to know that this is the truth. And I know that in the mind of God, it is already done. I allow it to be as I say, and so it is.
Okay. And also, if we could take a minute or two to pray for peace in Palestine, Israel, and throughout the Middle East.
Actually, that was what I wanted to end with, if everyone is okay with that. It is, it's a difficult time, so I'm just going to maybe your mind had that intrude on different parts of it this morning. I know it happened in my understanding of what's going on. It's flooding the consciousness. I imagine of the world, but I certainly know of our own country. And that the notion that this is in fact, I listened on the way in about how difficult this is to find a way through all of this. And so that lives are saved, and so that people on both sides of this can find safety and peace. And so that was already in my mind. So I invite you to just take a breath, a conscious breath that allows us to let all of those stories, all of the facts as different people see them, just let them drift away for the moment. If they're necessary to know, they'll come back when we need them. But as I breathe in, I am breathing into a space where there is nothing but that field beyond right doing and wrong doing, where there is true peace. I see it as a beautiful grassy meadow that I could sit in and open my arms to the sun and feel the warmth and feel the beauty and feel the peace that is in this place. That is the place in my mind that I am knowing. And I know that there is a way through the apparent quagmire of activity with all the destruction that appears to be happening, all of the reasons, all of the causes, all of the grievances, all of that is part of a chaotic being, but I can know peace within the chaos, around the chaos, because I can know peace in my own mind. And I can only begin knowing as anything comes across my thinking, knowing that God is in the midst of all of this. God is in the midst of this. There is a divine consciousness that permeates our entire universe and can hone in on a particular situation and blanket that area with understanding, with wisdom, with light, but most of all, a love. We speak of peace that passes understanding, but there is a love that is all part of what God is. And that love that is God, I think of as a blanket, as a robe that wraps around the consciousness of the chaos and knows that what emerges is a divine way of being. There is a perfection within all of this that as a human being I do not imagine, but I lift my own consciousness and allow the divine to know this peace for me and allow it to flood through me. And I know this for every person, not just in the sound of my voice, but beyond. There is nothing else but God. There is only God. And God is good. And that good and everything moves through this in a way that I must allow to be. And so this is what I know, that good does come from this, that does allow itself to be shown, especially as all people of peace know this is so, and embrace with love the differences, perhaps even the differences in our own lives and experience, and serves as an opportunity to expand what I accept into my own sphere. I wrap myself in this idea, knowing that all are blessed, all are loved, and all is known. So in gratitude for all of the good things that the kingdom has for me and for all, I simply allow these words to be and know they're so. And I can say, and so it is. I'm reminded of when we do memorials. One of the things that I often include near the end of the talk that the minister does, the homily it's called sometimes, is that if there's anyone in the sound of my voice that has been putting off conversations that might be difficult with family, with friends, that allow this experience to be the nudge, to be the idea that life is not something we always have a script for. And so take this opportunity to do that thing that you've been meaning to do, to send a letter, an apology, forgiveness, whatever is in that mix of things that are just in the back of the mind. Take the opportunity to be one of those who steps forward into peace for yourself and for whomever. And that just came to me in this moment, that there, at difficult times, we want to know that we're not contributing to the chaos in any way. And that's one way to make peace in your own life. And so it is. Thank you all for being here today, and I'm so glad that we were able to come together. Wednesday is such a nice time. So I look forward to seeing all of you at the next time we come together. Certainly Sunday's a big day, and we look forward to you being here. Thank you.